Hey there, this is Catherine from Crafting with Catherine. I wanted to do a Valentine's video today using a few of my favorite Stamps of Life products, and so let me show you what I'm going to do. I've got a piece of paper from a pattern paper pad cut 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, so I'm going to put that aside. And then I've got some gnomes from Gnome to Stamp that I have stamped and die cut, and I'm going to do a little bit of coloring on them. And I'm going to color the feet a dark gray. I'm just doing a really simple coloring on these because they're going to go underneath something, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on them. Okay, so now I'm going to add my hats onto my gnome. So what I did is I stamped one of my gnomes and cut out the hat. You can see it on this one, and then I also did it on this one. And then you're just going to paper piece this together. Okay, so I've got those cut out. I'm going to glue them down. Okay, so I've got my gnomes finished. And I'm doing a Valentine's theme, like I said. So I wanted to make some flaps. These new flaps have just come out from the Stamps of Life. They're called Peekaboo. These are rectangles, but I think they've released one other shape. I cannot remember what it is off the top of my head. But what I want to do is I want to make flaps so it will leave an edge and allow you to open the door, so to speak. And I want to lay these out. I'm going to use the bigger one there. I think it's this one. Yes. Okay. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to tape these down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run them through my machine, and I'll be right back to show you what you get. So here's what happens when you run those through. It leaves your flap, your piece in there. It doesn't cut it all the way, so you can peek underneath. Fold it back, and then whoever receives your card will have a fun little something underneath there. So I'm going to next run my larger die through a couple of colors of paper, and then I'm going to cut them out. Here's one that I've already done. It's very easy. You just run it along the edge. If you want to make a solid color, if you wanted to stamp something or dye something, which I'm going to do, you easily can just glue that on there. I'll be right back. So I'm going to stamp a little something on here before I add the word lift to it. And this is from Love Bears to Stamp. It's this cute truck with lots of hearts and super cute. I think that was released last year around Valentine's. So let me ink this up in black. Sending you lots of love. Okay, that's pretty good. And then I'm going to take this little word that says lift. So it lets your recipient know to lift the tab. And I'll run that through. Be right back. Okay. Peel this off. And you have this super cute lift left behind. So I can glue this on my panel. And I'm going to put a little tiny piece of white because since I'm using a patterned piece of paper, it takes that away. So I can cheat that by getting a scrap of paper. And adding that. To the back. And then you'll be able to see it very clearly. And I'm going to glue it on my first flap. And I think I'm going to do at least one more flap before I add my gnomes to the cardstock. Flip it over and see how you did lining it up. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry and I'm gonna stamp and cut a few more. Okay, so I've cut a few more flaps. You can see what I'm doing here. It leaves a nice deep crease so you can see where you're cutting pretty well. And I think I was a little crooked on that one. Okay, and now I'm going to stamp again. So I'm going to do Hugs and Kisses, my purple one. I'm going to do Happy Valentine's Day on this one. So let me get my stamp mat again. I've got some blocks that fit. Pretty good. And then get one that fits this Happy Valentine's Day. And I'm just using black ink, so it will be easy to be read. Okay. I'm going to glue these down. Oh my goodness, that ended up being pretty cute. I like that. I wasn't sure, I really wanted to use this paper, but I wasn't sure how that was going to work. So what I'm going to do now is I need to glue down my gnomes. So I'm going to put a piece of strawberry behind it. And then I will have to fit my gnomes in here. There's my other one. I am not a tidy crafter. So whoever gets this will lift these and see these little gnomes. And then I'm going to add a heart if it fits underneath. Now I'll need to trim his feet a little bit because if I put him in all the way, he's going to be a little bit longer. So let's trim him down just a little bit based on where I'm going to position this paper. It's just a little bit like a puzzle. Okay, that would cover him pretty good. And then I'll fit my heart in here. And I do have a second one on here. I'm going to see if I can find a sentiment to fit on there. And I've got many tags to cut. This very cute set that comes with dies, and they're just little small sentiments. Going to see, I think I'll use With Love. I'll use With Love. if I've used that stamp. I've used a lot of them, but I don't know if I've used that one. So let me stamp it first with love. Oh, all right, flip it over. Okay, better. And we're gonna glue it down. Eee. Okay, now I'm gonna start gluing. I'm gonna speed this up and I'll get to the conclusion. Okay, so I'm gonna stamp the inside, and this is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I want to send this to my mom. She loves an interactive card, so I'm using All for Moms. This is a great set. It's not super expensive. It's a 3x3, 4x4, 4x4 set. And it just has all these awesome sentiments. Since Mother's Day will be here before we know it. Anyway, I'm gonna do thank you for being such a great mom. And I'm gonna stamp this on scratch paper. Let me find a block. Because we can send our moms love on Valentine's Day too. All right, so let's ink this up. Oh dear, it's a little heavy-handed. Okay, woo. Let me see, I smushed too hard. I really should have used a smaller block that really fits the sentiment. It's a little too large, and so when you use a block that's too large for your sentiment, sometimes that can happen where you put too much pressure in it. It goes smush into your pad, and then it can get on your paper. So just remember that tip, to try and have the right size blocks. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Okay. Thank you for being such a great mom. Okay. Sending you lots of love with 2 cute gnomes, and then a happy Valentine's Day with love. So this is again the rectangle peekaboo die set, and gnomes, and the bear set. And I'll link everything in the description. But thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.